Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a gorgeous morning here today in Surfside, California. I'm here on the beach. There's not a breath of wind. It's flat calm. I mean, it just makes you want to get out on the water and go fishing. And I know many of you have been doing it, some of you at night, and having great fishing for lobster. Man, are you going to be dining well? And then, of course, we've got Ensenada, San Diego. We'll cover the area all the way up to the Channel Islands. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it is great to be back with you all again. Thanks for joining us here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Please smash that like button right now. So many of you have been doing that, and it helps us so much. So just take a little time and smash that like button. If you like this video, share it with a friend, and of course, subscribe. It's free, and every single time there's new content, we'll let you know. Our Name the Boat contest winner will be announced tomorrow right here on the morning briefing. So this is your last chance. Remember, Ricky Carbajal sending his beautiful new purchase of a boat down to Puerto Vallarta, but he needs a name for it. That's up to you. You get to name Ricky's boat. And if he picks your name, you get a giant box. Well, I don't know if it's giant. Ricky said it was giant. Okay, so we'll assume it's giant. May need a moving van to get it to you. Maybe not that big. But anyway, you get a giant box of swag, and I'm sure there'll be some Apollo stuff in there and so much more. So one more day, and then tomorrow morning, the announcement of the winner, and of course, the new name of the boat. I'm excited about that. Also, don't forget, tomorrow night is our live show, Tuesday Night Live. We're back at our 7 o'clock hour tomorrow night. We've got Brian Wynn, who all of you love. He is so knowledgeable. He's such a good friend of mine. I mean, and that's taken place over the course of the last couple of months, but Brian's a guy I can count on. He's so knowledgeable. He makes me look good. Very few people can do that. And he's bringing along with him a guy that's been in the industry for many years with vast knowledge of any question you could ask him about tackle fishing or anything else for that matter. Roger Eckhart, 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. That's going to be a great show. I can't wait to bring that to you. And if you want to get on the list to join me surf fishing here in Surfside and other areas, I'll even take you down to Baja. I'm doing some guiding. Probably going to start around November. But if you'd like to get on the list and I can send you further information, just send me a text to 657-227-6459. All right. Good morning, everybody. Man, I'll tell you, we got a lot to cover with you. And we're going to start south of the border, down there in Ensenada. And we're going to join Victor Blackfin from Blackfin Sport Fishing on beautiful, picturesque Punta Banda. Man, that is an area that I've been traveling to for over 50 years, and it is gorgeous. It's a pristine and beautiful place to launch from. And Victor says it has been game on. In fact, he provided us with these great photos from yesterday's fishing. I have photos from the day before, and it's more of the same. Kelp Patty, Dorado are full speed. There's a lot of yellowfin down there. There's bluefin, big bonita. It's really biting well down there out of Ensenada. And for those of you who like to cross the border as I do, experience Baja hospitality and jump in a ponga, which is a really intimate kind of experience. Man, I'll tell you, Blackfin is really cranked up and doing a great job. And as you can see, they are catching copious. Oh, my voice cracked when I said copious. It's been so long. Copious amounts of game fish offshore. Really great fishing. Albert Ponce, Crystal Ponce fished there all the time. A couple of good friends of mine who I trust 100%, 100%. And I'll tell you, it's been great. And of course, as you look down there in Ensenada, that's a picture, a window of what may be headed our way. Well, I mean, it's already headed our way as we've had great fishing out of San Diego. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but let's do the tackle thing because Ensenada and San Diego, they're fishing virtually the same stuff. So 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon leaders are working really well when you're fishing the kelp. Sometimes you may have to drop it down. If you find a patty with Dorado on it that are on the finicky side, then you drop it down to 20 pound or whatever it takes. But 2.0 size hook, and once again, that 30 to 40 pound fluoro, www.optionusa.com. Put in FA at checkout for a love note from owner Greg Brown and a free gift. Make sure you do that. And so that's really working well. Now, there are some fish being taken on the iron. I like those Daiwa Zacanas for the yellowfin tuna with some chrome in it. That's been working really well. Stick baits have been working down there. And, of course, trolling around with feathers. We're getting jig strikes again. That seems like a thing of the past, but yellowfin love to bite the feathers, trolled jigs behind the boat, and they've been biting it really well. The grade of fish for both San Diego and Ensenada has been smaller yellowfin in some cases, in most cases, that 5 to 10 pound YFT, and then you get some fish that are 25 to 50 pounds. Sometimes you can get a stop on both, so watch it. You drop down too light, you can get into trouble. Uh-oh, sounds like my friend Valentino. It is Valentino. All right, so watch out. I mean, you see that small fish, and sometimes you want to drop down with the lighter stuff, and you get into trouble if you hang a 60-pound YFT on 15 pound. You're going to be on that fish for a while or lose it. The bluefin, 25 to 50 with some bigger fish in there. And the flatheads this year, they're nice grade, 8 to 20 plus pounds. There's some really nice big Dorado running around. So that's the grade of fish. All right, let's jump over into Gringolandia and talk San Diego. You know, there was a few more misses yesterday than there has been. At least I thought so. The Mission Bell, the Point Loma, those guys have been having just stellar, great fishing. But Scott Buchert called me really, really tired last night. Hey, I got to tell you, it was tough out there today for us. But it was just a down day. Scott could hardly talk. So, of course, I called him back 53 times just to make sure he was okay. So there were some misses, but there's still some really excellent fishing. And I've got to tell you, man, I love these guys because they are so great together. Isaac Parcell, his son Ethan, they're on the Voyager. They were not on a boat that missed. The Voyager limited out early in the morning on Dorado. It was full speed, wide open. Take a look at these guys. I mean, they have so much fun together. This father and son kind of experience is what makes sport fishing so wonderful and so great. You know that Isaac's got a fishing partner for life. Ethan learned how to spike the fish by himself. Of course, you saw him catch that fish, or see him catching that fish right now on video. Great stuff, fantastic fishing on the Voyager as they just put the wood to it. And man, I'll tell you, Ethan and Isaac, I can't thank you enough. And Ethan, way to go, young man. You are really doing a fantastic job, and I can't wait to fish with both of you one of these days very, very soon. So nice fishing. Oceanside 95, limits on the flatheads. Nice hit for them. The San Diego with 18 bluefin and 15 yellowfin tuna. So you're hearing those kind of scores. Now, you know, boats like out of 22nd Street are on offshore watch also. The Freedom, he was out and had 30 yellowfin, 9 bluefin, and 4 yellowtail. So nothing wrong with that kind of a hit. And the Legend on a 3-day trip, well, my buddy Jeff Wiley was on that trip. Jeff, it was so good to see you. It's good to see you at the horse races the other night also. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Anyway, Jeff's a great guy, and he was on board the Legend. He said, you know, Phil, we fished pretty close to Catalina Island for most of our trip, and it was good. Jeff coming up with several nice catches of bluefin tuna. I think they had 15 guys on board for 68 bluefin, 7 yellowfin tuna. It was a night bite. Sinker rigs worked really well. Flat falls and knife jigs working really, really well. Jeff Wiley, great trip on board. So good to see my friends having so much fun. And speaking of dear friends, I got to talk about Jeff Yeomans and all the great folks from the 540 Slingers Club. This is going to mix San Clemente Island with, of course, the offshore bite. But they were on board the Pride out of 22nd Street Landing. Jeff said, Phil, that crew, they worked so hard. I saw it firsthand, Jeff. Man, I'll tell you, Axel and Robbie and Mike and Bruce Smith, those were the guys on our trip. Man, oh man, they just, I don't know how they do it. They just keep going 24 hours a day. And their level of expertise is so good, especially on tangles. In fact, Jeff said they had a tangle at night that, I mean, they didn't think, just looking at it, it looked like there's no way. And they got that tangle solved, got the fish on the boat. They had a really, really good time on board the Pride. 12 bluefin tuna to 70 pounds and one YFT, one yellowfin tuna. Those fish biting at night, same thing as, you know, the knife jigs and all of that working really well. They went 15 for 50 on the Yellowtail, but they were fishing in 60 feet of water. That's not very far for those forkies to get you into that structure. Those are bad neighborhoods. Let me tell you, it's got kelp and rocks and all of this stuff that those smart Yellowtail can run you into and saw you off. So I'll tell you, it really was tough fishing in terms of that, busting off 40-pound left and right. Really fun fishing though, and ended up with 15 for 50. Sammy Chavez with his big jackpot fish. Congratulations, Sammy and the 540 Slingers Club. You know how much I love those guys. They are absolutely awesome. It sounds like they had an absolutely great time on board the Pride. Pursuit offshore, I'm just going to mention it because I know he leaves in the morning and comes back in the evening, but so do those boats out of San Diego, and they've been picking off a few fish. Had 6 bluefin and a yellowfin, nothing wrong with that. So there has been some really decent sign and signal. Now, this local Dorado, what's up with that? Well, we haven't seen it really pop back with any great significance, picking away at a few fish here and there. It's going to be a gorgeous day today. We'll see if anything pops up. There's still a lot of that bluefin and a lot of that yellowfin. And you hear me saying that they fish near Catalina Island on the Legend, but that fish is all nocturnal, biting at night. It doesn't want to do anything but show itself in the daytime and tease you. So it's been tough. There's guys on private boats that picking those things off with poppers and, of course, other ways. But for the most part, it's been pretty tough. Few fish on the spreader bars and, you know, that kind of a bite. But really, it's been a nighttime kind of situation, and it just seems to want to remain that way. All right, so offshore, still pretty good, but there were some holes in it. The Grande, I hate to break this to you, 8 days in a row of limits of Dorado, and yesterday that came to an end. It's sad that that happened to the Grande. In fact, if I had a violin, I'd play it right now. Well, there's a reason why the Grande didn't have limits. I mean, they've been cranking, doing so well, and they had a magnificent day. As I kind of segue into islands with you all, excuse me, they had a great day at the Coronado Islands. They didn't fish offshore. They went to the islands. That's the reason why they didn't have limits, and they had a great, fantastic day at the islands yesterday with 46 on the yellows and a mix of other fish. Nothing wrong with that kind of a day, as it was outstanding fishing at the Coronado Islands, and it was deep. It was fall fishing for yellowtail. Yo-yo iron, my favorite way to take yellows, or dropper loop down deep. Few fish on the fly line, but most of it down deep, and some really great fishing going on. No question about that. All right, let me now bounce across and just mention Todos Santos Island off the coast of Ensenada with big bonita and some really good yellowtail fishing also. Of course, blackfin or Arnie Man can take you there. Costa Baja sport fishing out of Ensenada, they can all run you there. Fishing that Punta Banda area around La Bufadora and those areas, still really good. Calico bass fishing, that's good. We mentioned Clemente when we talked about the 540 Slingers Club. There's been some really good scores in that neck of the woods. It's still going along really, really well. And let's now jump into the Thunderbird. And they, of course, did the same thing, but they ended up with 61 yellowtail on board the Thunderbird. Man, I'll tell you what, that Jeff Markland, he's a miracle worker. He just keeps cranking fish after fish after fish. Great day on board the T-Bird, and they fished bluefin at night, and they ended up with 38 on the BFT. Everybody keeps pushing me to do a charter with Markland. I just feel bad for the guy. Spending 24 hours with me is enough to make anybody go crazy, but I think I'm going to have to do it because way too much success there, way too many comments about great crew, great food, great everything. I'm definitely going to do that for next year. So a great day there, and you can hear that was a good yellow bite there at SCI. Most of those yellows at San Clemente Island are a fly line bait, 30 to 40 pound, sometimes down to 25 pound fluorocarbon. Definitely a must on that bite. And if you're in that shallow water, excuse me, you're definitely going to want to be with the heavier line and pull hard, because they're going to get you into that structure every single time. Channel Island area, good rockfish up there with the occasional halibut and the occasional nice little pop on the white sea bass, the white sea bass capital of the world up there out of the Channel Islands. Ventura, Sport Fishing, Cisco's, all those guys up there do so darn good. It's really great fishing. All right, along the coast, Big Bonita, some occasional yellowtail there out of Seaforth on the new Seaforth, some decent bass fishing for the Dana Wharf boats and some sculpin and rockfish, that kind of thing. Wide open calico bass on the Redondo special with limits of calico bass. They've been all over the calicos for quite some time. You can have a ball with the light line there out of Redondo. Really nice fishing going on there. Marina Del Rey, rockfish, some bass also, at times good bass. And then up in the Channel Islands, my good friend Cody Rogers on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Really good white fishing, a mix of other bottom grabbers providing excellent table fare for their anglers. Really, really nice to see that. Ventura Sport Fishing, 676, pardon me, 805-676-3474. Some really good bottom fishing going on up there in that neck of the woods, and along the beach is still a lot of corvina today. Man, you look at that ocean. Oh my God, just casting right out there, just in that short water, like, you know, a foot of water, 2 feet of water. You're hanging some nice corvina today, guaranteed on the natural baits. A little bit of yellowfin, croaker, some halibut on mostly lucky crab. You can get live bait down here. It's really good. And chrome crocodiles also work really well. You like to join me on one of those surf fishing adventures? Remember, 657-227-6459. I'll just put you on a list and then send you the info when we're ready to rock and roll with that. All right, lobster guys doing really good at night. Be careful out there. Nighttime's a dangerous time to be on the water. And once again, take the time, if you want to hit that like button right now. Share this video with a friend. And of course, subscribe. It's free. Subscribe and you'll find out when content is available. Tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Live, don't miss it. We got a great one for you with, of course, Brian Wynn and Roger Eckhart, and the Name the Boat contest winner tomorrow with a giant box of swag headed your way if you are the winner with the name of the boat headed to Puerto Vallarta. All right, everybody, it's always good to be with you. Can't thank you enough for being here. Once again, you have all my thanks, driving us toward 1 million views, 5,000 subscribers in a very short period of time. I owe my deep gratitude to you. Have a great morning, and once again, thanks for joining.